Hello all my friends, welcome to my channel where I flip furniture because it is expensive and I need to make more money. Now there's nothing super wrong with this piece, it's got really great bones, just a few surface scratches and missing veneer, which we will fix later. It looks like the stoppers are missing on the inside of this drawer because it's going in way too far. And then here's the damaged veneer. We do have the piece, so we'll be gluing that in a little bit later. Now here's where I scare myself. Instead of turning around and seeing what it is, I'm trying to figure out what it is in the window. Because maybe if it is a living, breathing thing and I don't turn around and make eye contact with it, it won't see me. That's the microphone to the karaoke machine that's looking like Satan back there in the background. Well, that gave me chills. Scare my own self. Ah, the never-ending adventures of flipping furniture. So while this piece is already relatively clean, I'm still going to hit it with the TSP degreaser deglosser because you never know what furniture oils or waxes, fingerprints or something like that might still be sitting on the surface of this piece. And I don't want to take any chances of my paint not adhering. So I always give my pieces a really good clean first. You can use a lint-free cloth, you can use a scrubby sponge. Like I said, this isn't really dirty, so a lint-free cloth is going to take off any of the oils that might be sitting on here. And when you're cleaning the piece, you're literally going over every inch of it, so that really gives you a good opportunity to see things you might need to repair, like the backing of this dresser. It's just a little loose and needs a couple of nails, which we'll put in later. I've pulled out the drawer, and while it looks like there might have been a block glued to the back of it at one point in time, it's missing now. So we are going to have to cut some wood and put something back there to keep that drawer in place. This is a jigsaw, and it's perfect for small projects like this where I'm just cutting a piece, twice. If it were something on a larger scale, I would get out my chop saw, which is on a bench and everything. But this is going to do great for this tiny little project right here. It'll take me all of 5 minutes to cut it. And we're done. So, funny story, I just now, as I'm sitting here editing this video, realized I did not measure these blocks. I did not measure that space. I just guessed at what it needed to be in order to keep the drawer in there in the correct position. It did take me a couple of tries to figure out which way these blocks needed to lay in order for that drawer to sit flush. Now it's time to glue it in. I'll put a little dab of wood glue on and then rub it over the entire surface of the block. I find that doing it this way gives you full coverage, but it also cuts down on the amount of excess glue that's going to squeeze out once you press this block down. If you put a big dollop in the middle and then you put it down and clamp it, you've got glue coming out everywhere, and then you may not have full coverage on the block. So if you want it to stick, better have glue on it. Capiche? Sounds people over 40 make when exerting any form of energy. I do not have a plan for the color of this piece. I know that I want to do somewhat of a neutral tone, but I have a lot of almost empty jars of paint, and these are actually two different brands of paint. One is Dixie Belle and one is Paint Couture, but they are both like an acrylic based. It's not a chalk paint or a clay based paint, it's more of an acrylic based. So they're all going to mix together and it's going to be just fine. As you can see, this one's a little bit lumpy, but we're going to stir it real good because I hate wasting paint. It drives me nuts when I have literally 25 to 30 jars of paint with an inch in the bottom of it. So in this instance, I like to mix, and I don't even know what the end result is going to be, but I will feel satisfied knowing that I have mixed literally 4 jars of paint in one and paint this piece with it. Now, all of these colors are pretty old. They are between 2 to 5 years old. They've been sitting in my studio forever. So in that instance, this is water-based paint. I'm just going to add a little bit of water and stir until I get all the lumps and dryness mixed together nicely and it's the consistency that it needs to be. It's really easy to reawaken water-based paint just by adding a little bit of water. You do want to go in slow. It's just like making sugar cookies when you're adding water to your icing. If you add too much, you f it up quickly. And if you go slow, you will be successful. I bought this paint sprayer at Harbor Freight. It's about the $100 range, $130, somewhere around in there, depending on if it's on sale. And then the strainer, I just got at Dollar Tree. The press-on nails are from Shein, and I do not recommend because I can't keep them on. I added a little bit more water to my paint mixture because I want it to flow evenly through my paint sprayer. You want it to be the consistency of like buttermilk, or you know, that really good thick chocolate milk. That's the consistency you're looking for. And here is something you do not want to learn the hard way. I have a rock driveway, and if I were just to put this piece on the rocks, the sprayer shoots out air and paint at the same time. So if you get down there on the base and you're shooting that air out, it's going to spray rock and paint all over your piece. Ask me how I know. So make sure that you've got some form of plastic or tarp. This is old signage from like a Home Depot or something they were just throwing out, and I have been using it for about 7 years now. It's always good to test a couple of sprays on something like plastic or cardboard just to make sure that your paint is coming out evenly. And let's not forget, safety first. Now, I know there are some who are very concerned that I sprayed paint on the glass. This is something that I do 100% of the time. I never tape off my windows, my mirrors, any form of glass, because when you spray it with foaming window cleaner and let it sit for, oh, I don't know, 10 seconds, it comes off like butter. But just to show you that it can be done, I did not put any glass cleaner on the bottom half of what I'm scraping here. This is just paint over glass. But I find that with acrylic-based paints, they are very easy to scrape off of glass. Chalk-based paints are a little bit different. In my opinion, I do still want to use the foaming window cleaner on a chalk-based paint. But like I said, acrylic-based, it comes off pretty easy. And here she is all finished. I am in love with the contrast of the wood behind the glass. I'm so glad I did not paint that, because I started to. You can take the backing off of a china hutch to make it a lot easier to get in there and spray. But man, I love the wood tone against this light colored paint. And who knew, I mean, somebody probably did, that gray and green together make robin's egg blue? I mean, I didn't know that. Oh yeah, one more thing I wanted to say about the paint. So the Dixie Belle silk paint that I used has a built-in top coat to it. I am not sure about Paint Couture. They do recommend using a top coat on their paint. So just know that going forward. I did top coat this because I mixed them, and I top coat my stuff. I know that paint in particular dries to an eggshell finish. Both of those paints do. I prefer a little bit of a satin finish, so I did clear coat it in a satin top coat. I'll list all of the colors that I mixed together, as well as all of the products that I used on this piece, in the description below. So while you're checking those out, would you leave me a comment and tell me one thing that you loved about this video? And as always, play hard and peace out, my friends.